Hey, this is Zero at PGzoneHD, and I have a pretty long commentary video for you guys tonight. It's also going to be an interesting video because I'm going to address an issue that a lot of you have been bringing up in the comments of some of my videos over the last week, and I'm also going to share what I'm planning to do on here over the next 11 days. And I say 11 days because that's how many days that I have to play this game and cover this game until Grand Theft Auto releases, and then I'm going to have to cover that on my ReviewZoneHD channel. But I will be coming back and doing Disney Infinity for the rest of this year, especially when the new content, the new figurines and all that good stuff releases. I think there's some stuff coming out in October, so I mean this is definitely going to be an ongoing project. But to start off with, I've had several of you ask why I've only been building the racetracks so far, and some of you have let me know that you want to see something a little bit different with what I'm creating. So let me start by showing you a couple failed attempts that I've had at creating two toy boxes that just didn't work out this week. So this first one here was intended to be a 2D side scroller. I had no issues with setting up the camera and the start of this level. I was planning to build a toy box that would end up resembling something that you would see in an old school Mega Man game, and this was just the beginning of what I had planned. I was going to do a full-blown level, and then I quickly realized after just a little under an hour of messing around with the different stuff in the toy box that it just wasn't going to be possible to do what I wanted to do with it. And right here's going to be the Mario inspired official Disney shared toy box that's also a side scroller, and if you go in there and play that toy box, you're going to understand really quickly what I'm about to discuss with trying to build one of these, and that is they just don't work that well because there's no good way to keep your character from falling off the ledge either in front or behind the 2D plane that they're going to be standing on when you're trying to run around. Now some are going to immediately suggest to put a wall behind the floor area, which is what I did in my own box so that you don't fall off the backside, but then that causes some issues with what you can place in front of the wall, and there's nothing really that you can use in the game like fencing or any type of railing to stop your character from falling forward, because if you put anything there it's going to block the camera view and then you won't be able to see your character. So then one person would suggest, well, just extend the floor out towards the camera so that you have more room to run around in the 2D plane. But then you run into an issue with wanting to add obstacles or anything that makes running through there fun. You would have to duplicate the objects or add multiple of the same object to extend that out as well, or it just doesn't look right and it also doesn't function properly. So then I ended up basically just scrapping that entire project, and then I went on to the next idea that I had. I wanted to build an ultimate dodgeball arena in which the super cannons would fire the bowling balls and the pinball bumpers behind you would cause them to bounce back at you, and that part of the toy box worked well. It was a good idea in my opinion. That part of it worked great, but then when I went to try to set up to activate how it would start with triggers and timers, that's when all the problems started. The balls would roll through the solid blocks, the closed doors. No matter what I tried to put there, I could not prevent them from rolling through the solid object, and that totally crushed any chance of me trying to make this work. I also realized that the Reset-O-Matic toy box item, which resets the gameplay, it does respawn the explosive blocks, which would effectively put the wall back up, but it doesn't respawn the balls that are behind it. So then the only option to keep the action going would be to build a pool table style drop off on the side to have the balls super cannon cycle back up top. But at that point, you know, I was just so aggravated with the balls rolling through the solid objects that I kind of threw in the towel on that project as well. So between those two projects, I wasted half a day just messing around in there, and I wasted another half a day trying to build a helicopter style attack stage where you would fly through and blow stuff up and you try to have stuff shooting at you, but that again also just there was too many problems with that. Another thing that I've come to realize from looking around YouTube and at the Disney Toy Box share created toy boxes that you can download and play on that have been released so far, the main components of the creative toys and objects that are in all of these stages that move are very, very limited. You're going to see a lot of people using the same swinging pendulums, the fans, the super cannons, the elevator platforms, and the spinners. A lot of that is going to be heavily used in those types of toy boxes because the game, again, is just very limited with what you have available to try to make platforming action stages. But the one thing that the game does really well, that it excels at, is with the racetrack creation. You have a lot of different options with racetrack pieces. You have a lot of terrain and block options. You can do some really awesome stuff with the racetrack creation. It's just as good, if not better, than Mod Nation Racers, which I spent a lot of time on that game building racetracks, but it's severely lacking when it comes to the other platforming stuff. And it's not that I'm missing a lot of items that I would need to make better platforming toy boxes. I've looked at all the stuff that I'm missing after I cleared out the toy vault. It just can't compete with other games like Little Big Planet, which was built for platforming. I also spent a lot of time on Little Big Planet building stuff on there, so I would consider myself to be somewhat experienced in games like this, and also a creative person. But right now, 2.5 weeks after the game's been out, some people that are watching me build these custom racetracks and leaving these comments, I think some of them are expecting me to pull a rabbit out of a hat and build something that just isn't possible on this game yet. But I have spent some time looking around YouTube to see what was possible, what everybody else is doing, and I really just haven't found that much, at least not yet. Again, the game's only been out for 2.5 weeks, so a lot of people are just now getting their feet wet, unlocking stuff, learning what's possible. I do think you can make some really cool combat-focused arenas, and that very well could be the next phase of toy boxes that I'll work on once I'm done with the racetrack stuff. But as far as the platforming goes, I haven't seen anything that anybody's created yet that I thought was just really awesome. A lot of the Disney shared toy boxes that I've played in, including the ones that I'm showing you here, I just feel they're a little boring and lifeless. There's just not much to do inside a lot of them other than just walk around and look at the stuff that's available in the game, which I can do that in my own toy box. But after some time passes, I know some people are going to find a way to make some really cool stuff, and I'd also imagine Disney's going to release some better toy box items intended for that. And it's really only a few good pieces away, a few minor tweaks and patches away from being able to make some really cool platforming stuff. But right now, I personally just cannot make a very interesting toy box worth showing to you guys when it comes to platforming. For me, I haven't spent any time figuring out what I can do with the different triggers, and those are going to be key to making anything interesting in my opinion. So the question is, do I spend a week trying to figure out what you can do in the game in the hopes of creating something that I'm not even sure would be possible, or do I continue making really awesome racetracks that I feel a lot of people are enjoying and keep bringing you guys new videos just about every day? I mean, to me that seems like a really easy decision. So what everything boils down to, what I'm planning to work on starting Saturday will be going back and doing more of the walkthrough videos for the main portions of the game, because I really need to play through more of the game to unlock some more stuff. Also, I need to do some more of the mastery adventures so I can show those to you guys. There's some pre-built toy boxes that I also want to show. I'm not ruling out creating stuff outside of racetracks. In fact, my wife's been working on an Alice in Wonderland adventure platformer style toy box, and I have a couple things in mind that I want to do in the future. I'm working on another racetrack, but I'm not going to waste a whole lot of time trying to figure out what I can possibly do with the platforming. I'm not going to waste any more days on that. I'm going to leave that for other people to do. Finally, I've been getting a lot of friend requests, and I've been accepting all of them. I'm getting asked like 4 or 5 times a day if I want to co-op play on here, but the thing is I can't really work on new toy boxes, walkthroughs, and more videos if I'm playing co-op with other people. So I haven't played with anybody else yet, but I am planning to record other people's toy boxes at some point in the future as well. So if you're on my friends list and you're creating really awesome toy boxes, just be patient. I'll get to you at some point in the near future. But that's pretty much all I have for this video. This is Zero at PGzoneHD, and as always, thanks for stopping by.